What is up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here with part 14 of the ultimate 100% guide for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. In this series, I'll be showing you how to obtain every single thing in a single playthrough and of course obtain the Platinum Trophy or 100% of all achievements depending on the platform you are playing on. In the last episode, we took on the Sovereign and cleared out the Zhenwu Temple. We're going to be heading to an optional area this go-around called the Bai Mansion. And yes, that of course is sharing the same name as Bai Wuchang. So, the player character. So we're going to be heading back to the place where it all started. So let's first make our way down here. We're going to see several NPCs that we can chat with. The first of which being Leenzee. We're going to see that, of course, the source of his power, these special pills, is starting to run out. Let's go ahead and chat with him. We are going to have to speak with him twice. And once we do, we'll get the special pill ×3. And then we're going to kill the cuckoo right here. We can speak to the storyteller, but just make sure that no matter what, you do not continue forward. If you continue forward, you will skip out on an entire optional area and miss a lot of content. So instead, say, let me weigh my choice. You can do this, or you can just refrain from speaking to him altogether until you're ready. So let me weigh my choice is more correct. That way you can at least have interaction with him and just move forward towards this pathway, which is going to take us to the panda. And our little panda friend here is going to have an expanded inventory. So he's going to do a little stretch. And you can purchase the panda hood if you like. You don't need to purchase the feather pearl. There's really no need for it. So we're actually just going to be purchasing the panda hood and just move on. Thank you, Mr. Panda. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make our way towards this area to the left. So right where the storyteller was kind of taking a seat, we're going to come this way right here. And just a little lore note, you might notice there's a shrine here. And there's typically a guy with a beard, with some instrument in his hand. Looks kind of familiar, does it not? But anyways, let's press onward. Avoid the corruption clouds. And we're going to grab this item right here. Grab it quickly so we don't get the corruption. Watch for the spikes. A quick double dash will do the trick. And then we're going to make our way over here. Grab this item. And then quickly run out of the pool of blood so we don't continue getting corrupted. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. And we're going to see a cuckoo just right next to us. Let's go ahead and take him out. We're going to see some people fighting off in the distance. Let's let them fight. There's a bridge you can cross. We're going to bypass that for now. Instead, we're going to come this way. Just so that you know, there is a ladder, there's an item right there that we're going to be getting much later. And then right over here, believe it or not, there's actually nothing. It's just a better view of the fight, I suppose, but there's actually nothing there. So we're going to come back, and we're going to go ahead and tag these items. Watch for the blight, of course. The blight, which has excellent tracking, and then we're going to pick this up. Of course, he came all the way over. What a gentleman. Normally they don't aggro that far, but that's funny. We'll leave him. We'll leave him. So now we can go up the ladder. That's too funny. I'm going to heal just because that's annoying. We're going to grab this item over here. It's only when you record, of course. And we're going to come up this ladder as well. Alright, so now what we can do is carefully approach, but then stop when you see the boulder. Let all that happen, dodge the blight, see if you can get some Skyborn Might out of it if possible. And then we're going to come up and around this way. No items over there, you can just work our way up and around. There's going to be a few items, and then before long we're going to see some people fighting. So here, in these jars, we're going to see this item here. And that's really it. So you can, I've checked these other jars, broken them all. There's nothing inside the pots, very rarely so. These are no exception. They don't have anything in there. Let's go ahead and get the weapon art going. There you go. Take out both of those threats at once. And then, be very careful because there's going to be a sploder. Comes out of nowhere. Wait for him to cross his arms. That's going to be our iframe note. Our little timing for iframe. And then we can pick this up carefully while the spikes are down, and we're good to go. there's nothing over here, just you can overlook the area that we're going to be crossing over to in due time, and that's kind of the pool of blood that we were working our way around. We're going to go up this ladder instead, though. So up we go. And we're going to be facing off with a Red Eye Rebel. It's of course the larger variants that are armored, so he's pretty tough. And he does have some lightning abilities, so let's grab this item first. And then we can go ahead and buff our weapon. We're going to go with whatever we had after we grab this right here. So whether it be fire, ice, whatever we had, we'll do fine. Fire's perfect for now, so we can go up here. While they're facing off with each other, we can try and get some little cheeky strikes here. But be careful, don't push too far, because of course this dude is pretty aggressive, very strong, I would say. There you go for the backstab if you can. Once you get the backstab, try and go for the obliteration and then punish. And he's dead. So we get the red mercury essence, a feather for upgrading, and then right over here, don't forget this, you can get a spell. This is the Heavenly Thunder spell. It's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, some of the spells don't have a lot of tenacity, which is your poise, or so you get interrupted pretty easily. But that's a decent spell if the enemy stays still, for sure. Not a bad one to have in your arsenal at all. So we're going to go and retrace our steps and just go right back the way we came. Nothing fancy here, we're just going back. Remember that these pools of blood do have corruption, so don't stay in them too long if you just have to walk through them quickly. And we're going to go all the way back down to that first ladder, and we can just drop down. It doesn't, minimal damage, It's not going to hurt us too bad. And then you come down to the second ladder. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go off to the left and dash forward. So we can go past this. We can grab this item here, the Flawless Red Mercury. Now we're right back where we started, where the enemies were fighting on the bridge, where I was like, oh, don't worry, they're not going to attack us. And of course, the shielded guy came and stabbed us in the back. I heard the footsteps, but I just couldn't believe my ears. So take out that enemy, and we're going to press forward. There's going to be another axe-wielding enemy just right here, seated in this corner. So we're going to dash forward, get the backstab, take him out, grab the item right here, and then we have a monk coming up. We haven't seen any of these guys in a while. We know they're scammers, though. They're certainly not real monks. We know that much. So we took him out, and we're going to come down this ladder right here. You can see an item off in the distance in that basket. We're going to go get that really quick. So head this way, grab the item, and then we can press forward. We're going to go down this ramp and take out these two enemies right here, and then we can check out the lore. There you go, back away. We can use this for now since he's just in our face. Why not? Punish him, get the health back that we got for trying to be fancy. And we can grab this, and because the body flew all the way over there, we can see if we can grab this, but we might not be able to. Let's see. Gotta be stubborn. Oh yeah, got the fake monk robes. Anyways, this is just a little bit of lore from this person that passed away, or he didn't die so peacefully. He was killed. No need for euphemisms, I suppose. Circle around this little ramp right here, and there's gonna be a chest. I believe we'll be grabbing a benediction from this chest, and we are well on our way. So the poise break's really nice, of course, with the lashing whip, because that's what this weapon kind of specializes in. In the event that you had not given Li Dingguo the secret letter, this document here on this crate would be readable, and Li Dingguo would be over there and hostile, and we'd be fighting him to obtain or end his quest line. So in either instance, in either outcome, you actually obtain the same item, so you can always get his item regardless. But if he's hostile, you also get what they call a lustrous red feather, which is the highest upgrade material. There's only 4 you can get in a single playthrough if you happen to include this one as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing lots of resting and entering the dream in this particular sequence. So let's just kind of quickly kind of see what we can do to level up. Lovely, I'm happy with that. And we will enter the dream here just so we can re-up everything. There's not going to be any encounters or anything, but it's nice to just have that maxed out mana vases and all that. So we're going to come down this pathway right here. And this is the Fairy Overlook. Fairy Overlook is kind of where most of the positive outcomes for the NPC questlines end. So what we're going to be doing is kind of hugging this side of the fairy first, or the kind of docks. We can read that lore if we like, and then we can speak with Sun Wang.
After the death of our foster father, Leenzee and Leenzee,
There's some really interesting lore about Sun Wang and of course Li Dingguo. But they are pretty much saying that their farewells, they're going to be taking off. So let's go ahead and chat with Li Dingguo as well. He doesn't know who the traitor is, but he knows that there is one present. And just so you know, like through history and whatever else, this is not really a spoiler that you ever find in game, but essentially, Sun Wang is the traitor all along, his right-hand man. So there's nothing in the game that truly indicates that. You just have to kind of know a little bit of the history of things. So we're going to grab this item. We can speak with the butler first. He's now healed because we gave him that true origin pill in one of the previous episodes. We get the crystallized red mercury, and then we can chat with Shen Jing'an. Now sadly, she's waiting for the Yonder gang, but you know, the father's saying, hey, we have to leave quickly. Unfortunately, she does not know that they are dead, so we're going to be handing over the tokens for both blood and matchstick. So it's really sad, unfortunately, but it's time for her to know the truth. And she's kind of heartbroken about it. We're going to leave her kind of process her grief. There's nothing up here, believe it or not. You can break those crates and those jars. There's nothing in there, though. And we're going to go straight over here, and we're going to see one of my favorite NPCs in the entire game. Other than the Plain Warrioress, you know I like the Jar Boy. He's awesome. Good kid, man. Good kid. So we get the child in the jar. He gives us a bamboo shoot. And we can grab this item right here, which is the tiger pendant. Now, as with, you know, the different pendants we have available, this one's not bad. I'm going to show you what the tiger pendant does really quickly. It increases the potency of weapons' physical attack. So any kind of physical damage will be boosted. And it's pretty solid, actually. We'll probably be going with some... I'm looking for the dragon... No, it's a pendant. There you go. Increases the power of weapons skills. We'll be changing this out in due time when we actually get ready. But this is not much of a stretch or sequence. So hardly any encounters. We will be facing off with a boss, though. But not much in terms of like the rest of the combat you have to deal with. So what we're going to be doing now is one of many dream sequences. We're going to return to the shrine and go ahead and enter the dream. This is going to reset the world state and progress it further. So everybody that said farewell will pretty much be gone, and then everybody else that's kind of processing things will be one step further in their mourning. So let's go ahead and enter the dream. If I can actually get to the shrine, that's wonderful. And we're going to go ahead and rest here. We're going to go back to the dock. And in this area, we're going to see that Sun Wang and Li Dingguo have left. They're no longer there. This is where the lore was. This is where Sun Wang was. And here, this is where Li Dingguo was standing. We can get the Serpent Fang, which is a long sword. It's actually really good. It's not bad at all, but it focuses on corruption. So feathering and corruption are the way to go if you want to kind of go for a build like that. It's an interesting weapon. The weapon ability is very fast as well, so it's not bad. Let's go ahead and chat once more. We're going to chat with the butler after she gets all those cries out. Any second now. There you go.
I'm Jing once, but I spent thinking back a lot.
Alright, now we can chat with Shen Jing'an as well. And she's going to ask us to come with her.
Why don't you come with us?
And we're going to go ahead and say we have unfinished business to attend to. So she gives us the flawless red mercury, and then we're going to come back here. Remember that we spoke with the child in the jar, which was, you know, one of my favorite NPCs. His questline is now over as well. So Li Dingguo's questline has ended in the peaceful way. Same goes for the jar kit, and guess what? We now have one of the coolest looking helmets in the game. I wore this quite a bit in several playthroughs, and it's fantastic if you wear it. Just looking at the item description is pretty interesting, but I'll go ahead and read it to you, and then I'll let you know what it says. So wearing this jar may well produce some surprising effects. So by wearing this jar, despite the fact that your resistances are all negative, you do have the ability to gain more red mercury essences by having it on. So it's a pretty cool weapon, or I'd say armor choice. I do like it quite a bit. I wore it for a really good period of time in a lot of my challenge runs. I've done a spells only challenge run and a no armor challenge run, and both were pretty awesome. That's the way I've completed the game both times, so pretty fun. So now what we do is we go back to the shrine, and we're going to rest one final time before we kind of satisfy this part of the quest lines and the fairy outlook, and then we're going to be heading over to the boatman, and also where Leenzee would be had he been hostile. And remember, the only way to make him hostile is of course by not giving him the secret letter when you chat with him the second time at the Wuchang, pretty much the Wu antechamber, Wu temple, what have you. So now, since we've rested yet again, we can go back to where the butler was, and also where Shen Jingan were. And there'll be an item where they once stood as well, indicating that they have kind of sailed off, hopefully to, a happier place. So this is the alternate method to obtain the butler set. Otherwise, the only other way you could obtain that is by revealing to the madam or the mistress in Snowfall Palace that the butler has betrayed her. So that would be a good way to get it quickly, but it does end in his demise, so it's not the nicest thing in my opinion. I try to avoid that if I can. I'm going to go ahead and equip some daggers here, only so we can reach a cuckoo that's kind of far away. We can grab this item right here by the dead clam, lock onto the cuckoo, throw the knife with a flying dagger, and then we can go ahead and speak with the boatman. The boatman does... Gosh. He pretty much does say that, hey, at Bai Mansion, there's a demon there. It's tied to you and your family. Pretty much the reason for your journey. Head over there. And it's kind of like taunting us this whole time. So we're going to grab the crystallized red mercury. We're going to grab this as well. Search this area, and then we are going to return to where the boatman was, and we're going to take his boat. And we're going to go to the Bai Mansion. So this is a corruption or despair dog, more specifically. Watch for those cheeky clams. There should be one other clam, but I don't see it, so I think the one we killed scared the other one off, so it's fine. They know not to mess with us now. We grab the feather pearl. We grab the health pill, and like I said, if Leenzee was hostile, you'd face off with him here, and you could then get the longsword he gave us after defeating him. After patch 1.5.1, he does not die, so you would of course get a kind of a more peaceful ending for him, but he survives. You kind of knock him back into his senses, if you will. So we're going to go on this little dock and this pier, and we're going to take the boat, head to the Bai Mansion. This, of course, is where everything kind of started. We've come full circle to the beginning of where this entire journey first began. So here from Bai Mansion, we can take a look at this right here, and just more lore about the pinwheels we're going to make for Wuchang's sister. No other items up here. We see Heiyuze off in the distance next to a shrine. And then inside this courtyard, remember this is the loading screen where Wuchang often sits, but we're going to go left first. Break through all these because honestly it's kind of hard with the collision detection to get this, but you want to read this lore, and it talks about the faint aura of a chisel. So there, it still lingers even though it's not there anymore. We see next to this little training post here that we have Demon Bane Strike, which is an excellent spell. We can examine this pinwheel here. And by examining the pinwheel, we'll get some additional lore. Alright. And there you go. So Bai Yu is talking about a baby brother, something that I referenced in the very first episode, of course, just so that you can see for your own kind of pleasure. There is nothing back on this side, but you do get the broken belled pinwheel. That is a lore item that actually mentions quite a bit. So if we take a look at the valuables, we can see that the belled pinwheel has a name. So Bai Wuchang, her name isn't actually Wuchang. That's a title she got because of her swordsmanship. Her name is Bai Ziyun. So Bai Yu is the little sister. Bai Ziyun is the player character's full name. Bai Wuchang is, of course, the name she earned because she was just so skilled with the sword. So we're going to come back around here, and on this swing we can grab the steamed bunny buns, and we're going to make our way back over here. So nothing around any of these places, I assure you. We're going to go speak to Heiyose real quickly, and then we can rest at the shrine, and we're going to prepare for a boss fight. So let's speak with Heiyose really quickly.
I've uncovered new clues. That chisel.
So he's learning more about the chisel and how somehow it was acquired and obtained at Bai Mansion, kept here, hidden here if you would.
If you find yourself in danger.
And we've exhausted the dialogue with him. Got a cornucopia elixir as well. We've done the quick examination. We know this is a safe shrine because he has his instrument. It says offer blood. We're good to go. So let's go ahead and we don't really need to rest here since we already teleported, but what we can do is change some of these things around so we can ensure we're doing the most damage. We're going to go for ice. Ice is pretty significant against this next boss. And just so that you can be prepared for it, we are going to be facing off with Bai Crew. Bai is the family name, right? So we know that this creature is, of course, related to Wuchang. So in essence, it is her younger brother. And if you haven't really been following along, you'll learn and see eventually that that is not, obviously the way he wasn't born, he was turned into something like that because he was born sickly. And the chisels were used to resurrect him, which is something we'll be finding out in just mere seconds if we haven't already deduced that. So that's pretty obvious. And the entire theme of what we've been seeing is that death is kind of a natural state, and unfortunately, by resurrecting and trying to overcome that nature, that usually results in abominations. So let's take a look at our items right now. I just have really been enjoying this. You can change it to whatever you like, whatever you feels most suitable for you. But in terms of damage type, you're not going to be weakened by any means or disadvantaged by wearing this same item or these same armors. I guess the same equipment or item slots that I have in. So I'm going to go with weapon skills for now, and I am going to use the Dracolich pendant because this boss does roar. Remember, we fought him in the very first episode when we obtained the 5 Red Mercury Essence points. He has largely the same exact moveset, except he just has a few more moves in between. He can now grab, and he has like some tentacles and then a projectile attack. Everything else is exactly the same. So what we're going to be doing is changing out Infernal Flames for Dark Frost Flames, and that's going to give us a little bit more damage for him and frost buildup. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and remove my flying daggers. I'm going to get ready for the boss. Remember, this boss is incredibly susceptible to frost. So let's go ahead and grab these last few items. Get jump scared by that. It gets me every time. And we're going to see the Plain Warrioress here. Just kind of observing this little altar here. So we're going to go ahead and get that upgraded material. We're going to speak with the Plain Warrioress, who always gives us the plume branch, and right there she's confirming even further that it's the brother. And then we can read this lore. It's incredibly important to do so you can obtain a guard token that's going to be used for a little bit later on when we're closing out some quest lines. So we're going to go ahead and exhaust that dialogue, close that out, and of course, I would always suggest watching the cutscene, but if you're going on a subsequent attempt to beat the boss, go ahead and temper your weapon, and we're going to rush into the boss arena and skip the cutscene. This is going to be the same fight as before, so I'll do my best to narrate. There you go. 1 or 2 strikes. Don't be greedy. Watch the backflip there. Watch the strikes here. Once he's done that, we're good to go. This is a 3 stomp right there. The third one has excellent tracking, so be careful. There you go. Watch your step there. Backflip. We're going to go ahead and heal. We're getting hit quite a bit. We're going to use our Frost Flames to get that build-up going. And we got some massive damage there. Lovely. Since he's off in the distance, we're going to use our Frost Flame again. And we're going to keep doing that as much as we can. When he closes his arms, that's the grab, so just watch for that little opening there. Draco Lich Pendant coming in clutch there. Use our projectile ability there to get some increased damage. There you go. Watch for the third strike, which is the most dangerous. Go for the Frost Flames here, get some more build up if we can. If you want, you can go for another Temperance. I'd like to get all my Temperance uses if I can. We're going aggressively for that build up there, so now we get an Obliteration. The cues get a little hard to read because of the lack of sound, so just be mindful of that. There you go. Watch for that Stomp. When he looks behind, if he looks behind, he's going to be doing that little 180 there. Watch the backflip. That's his new ability, one of them anyways. Hard to read whenever you don't have the audio cues, but just watch for him. That right there is the move. Watch the backflip. We're going to go with some Frost Flame there. Watch for the the water attack, sorry. And 2. There you go. Going back in. Watch for that. Watch for the backflip, and we just keep doing our thing. Watch for the water. Watch for him to close the distance. 2 jumps like always, just like in the tutorial. Watch the little tentacles there. Weapon ability. We're going to get another stun. And once he's kind of backed away, we're going to actually temper our weapon one more time. Watch the stomps here. It's going to be a third stomp right here, and 3. We're going to go for the Frost Flames naturally. Dodge directly to the right, directly to the left. Watch any residual pools of water there, because those are nasty. Go for Frost Flame again. Dodge to the right, dodge straight. Just try and dodge the water pools. Those are the biggest thing. Unfortunately, he started at a weird angle, so he got us both times, but that's okay. We're not going to complain about it, right? Watch for the hands to close. There you go. Weapon ability. Weapon ability again. Watch for the hands to close. There you go. And he's dead. So, goodbye, little brother. We get the Research Journal, Scrap 2, the Ivory Seal, and we're also going to get his Echo, which is a spell. So the Echo of Bai. Don't forget to rest at the shrine. Remember that there is an achievement tied to resting at each of these shrines. There's about 50 of them, so I've shown you every single one so far. So after you rest at this shrine, we can go ahead and actually just warp back. So what we're going to do is you're able to do a handful of things. So we can level if we want, and we can certainly do that if you want. Just take the time to see if there's any opportunities to bump up your mana base and just kind of move further with maybe some health and stamina upgrades. We want to make our way over here eventually so we can unlock all of these. So it's fine to get some little health upgrades like that. If you do look at the teleportation, you're going to see that we can, of course, speak to not only Leenzee, but Tao Ching. We're not going to do that just yet, because here in the Bai Mansion, we have someone we can chat with already. So we're going to go to Bai Mansion first and speak with Leenzee. The Plain Warrior S has nothing more to say, and she's not even there anymore if you try to speak with her. So let's speak with Leenzee instead.
So, did you
We're going to show him the Research Journal Scrap number 2.
for the Wuchang.
And we're going to learn then that exactly what transpired and why Bai Crew was resurrected.
Stay safe.
Alright, so now that we're here, we have a lot of kind of closing out of things. So first thing we're going to do is go to the Reverent Temple and speak with Leenzee. He always kind of reveals things, in my opinion, that he just seems a little too involved. I've never trusted him, and he's just a very interesting individual. Alright, so now that we have come back to the shrine, we can speak to Leenzee up here on the steps.
I heard tales that official at some point.
There you go. He's going to give us the Blood of Long D, which is excellent for upgrading, of course. Now that we've chatted with him, you know, interesting enough, he's just smoking his little pipe, and this child here is just suffering just a few paces away. Very interesting, in my opinion. We can now go to the next point of interest, which could be the anything you want really, but the refugee camp makes perfect sense because it's next in line, and we can speak with Tao Jing now that we have the Ivory Seal boss item, so we can expand his inventory even further. So the Ivory Seal is a boss item that we can cash in to expand Tao Jing's inventory.
What treasures do you have for me?
So we're going to hand over the seal, and we get access to the Kailin Pendant. And this, of course, increases the feathering damage even further, but it does reduce your physical damage. So regardless if you're going to use it or not, make sure that you do purchase it, because pendants are tied to achievements. So now we can go ahead and teleport, and what we're going to do next is we're going to teleport over to the ferry overlook where the boatman was. We just left from the ferry overlook to Bai Mansion. We cleared out Bai Mansion, and now we're going to return to the boatman because he's the one that kind of egged us on. He's the one that pointed us in that direction. So let's go ahead and chat with him so we can see what we get from his side of things. And just so that you know, spoiler, we are going to get a weapon, one that is incredibly easy to miss. And of course, as I've mentioned before, collecting all of the weapons in the game is necessary for an achievement. Alright, so now we get Li Jiao's Fang. Just so that you know, it's an excellent axe, but more than anything, it has a really significant lore purpose as well. And Li Jiao was the name of the pirate that Wuchang was facing off with when Bai Yu, her younger sister, perished. And you can see that very clearly by just simply reading the item description. There's so much lore you can glean from the item descriptions, aside from the dialogue and things like that, that really pull the story together in a beautiful way. So I like that there is storytelling, but there's also some digging around to be done. It makes it really fun. Now that we've done all of that, we can go back to the Zhenwu Altar Shrine where we face off with the Sovereign, and we can go speak to the Storyteller. We are now ready at this point to speak to the Storyteller and continue forward. Remember that at this point, if you haven't, for whatever reason, followed along the guide up to this point and you may have missed something, check out those other videos before pressing forward, because when you do, there is a world event that takes place that will completely change Warship's Rise, and it will not be accessible in the same way anymore. So things that you missed are completely gone and changed. The entire area has and will be changed forever. So that is why the Storyteller does kind of say, hey, he does caution you, say, you sure about this? So now that we've done everything possible, we can speak to the Storyteller, and we are going to, stubbornly press forward and select this option and then say, I press ever onward. So with 2 affirmative choices, you've said, yes, I do want to move forward. There is no going back now. You also get access to these really cool new save loading screens, which is kind of cool. Immediately from spawning here, you're going to go to the right. You're going to grab this item in here. The other room is empty. You can check it if you don't believe me. And then now we're going to speak to Fang Ya
You mentioned you traveled far and
and Hey Jose.
Have you ever seen red vines? Like these?
So once she's done talking, we can chat with her.
I'm glad.
And we're going to get some soul grass from her as well.
You really must go. I'll stay here.
We're going to speak with Hey Jose, and naturally he's going to give us some cornucopia elixir, which he just loves to do.
Let me check the town first while you stay here and analyze.
We are now back in the Annulum area, where we first obtained the very first item for Tao Jing all those episodes ago when we got his painting. So he's just over here now. So just so you know, if you didn't hand over the Ivory Seal, you could do it here. It's whatever you like. But it's nice to go ahead and chat with him. He's now in this location. This will be the final hub for him. We're going to show you the rest of the locations of the other NPCs because they have shifted as well. So if we go back over here, you may recall that this is where we face off with the first inner demon down this pathway. Instead of an inner demon, we've got a more fuzzy and furry companion here, and that, of course, is our bamboo munching panda friend. So we can come over here and chat with him. He's just still stretching, resting, doing his thing, And at this point, he has the 9 disciplinary force. So you can certainly take that at this point. So depending on how many disciplines you've learned, you can deal even more damage. It's a pretty solid way to just have excellent increased flat damage consistently without having to trigger anything aside from just being knowledgeable. Having unlocked those disciplines is enough. So that's really awesome. It's a great thing to have and a great thing to use. Now what we're going to do is, as we're working our way across here, we're going to go straight and grab this item right over here. There's nothing behind the building like there was before when we first visited Annalum, just so you know. But when we circle back around to the left, around this path, we're going to see that the bridge has been completely destroyed. So this section of Annalum, where we actually obtained the painting for Tao Ching, is no longer accessible. We do have to find it via a really interesting method I'm going to show you in the next episode. So now what we can do is we can, I wanted to show you this right here. This pathway was filled with imps that look like Wukong and explosive jars, no longer. So now we're just going to go over here and grab these items instead. And we are going to speak with Wukong though. So we can circle around this way. And he hurt his foot, I guess he walked too far, so now he's such a baby. His little legs hurt. I know that I've felt that way before though.
My legs are killing me.
I definitely, go to Vegas and just, you'll feel like that.
Walk around. The blind one invited me to hide in his hole.
So now that we've spoken with him, we can come over here, and that's Wukong's location, so now you know. And you can cut across, go around, doesn't matter, but at this point, you are going to want to create a backup save. A backup save is required if you're trying to get all of the endings, because this is how you would obtain the very first ending. I'm going to show you across this in the next episode. So essentially what you would do is you would back out into your, if you're playing on PlayStation, your menu, and then you create a cloud save, right? If you're on PC, you know, those are methods you're going to have to look up. But essentially create a backup save right here, and you want to leave that alone because there's two options you can pick, and both of those are going to dictate what kind of outcome and ending you can obtain. So when you speak with him, you can say, what kind of favor are you needing? And say, I do not. Ask about the bow people. And then you can say that you refuse to help. If you refuse to help twice, what's going to happen is you locked yourself out of virtually many of the other endings. And when you defeat one of the next major bosses that we're going to be facing off with in the next episode, you will be able to pretty much trigger a secret ending where you take that boss's place. That, of course, is referred to as a secret ending, and we'll be talking about that ending in the next episode where I can discuss it spoiler-free. If you want to press forward, though, and get any other ending, say that you've already created your save, your backup save, you can say agree to help. If you agree to help, you can no longer obtain the secret ending. So I hope that I've explained that clearly enough. Refusing to help twice locks you into the secret ending. Agreeing to help prevents you from obtaining the secret ending. So that's something that you need to make, determine for yourself how you want to proceed. We're going to go ahead and agree to help, and we're going to get the polygonal container for our troubles. This is a very powerful spell against the bow people, one that I strongly suggest you equip or use when you're able to. It is just so powerful. It will force enemies to essentially bow down, and yeah, it's great. You're going to love it. We're going to switch to the polygonal container right now. It does cost, a little bit, not too expensive. No more than like an Infernal Flames, for example. We're going to switch back to the Lifesteal Pendant and just get ready to kick some butt. Now, as per usual, we can go ahead and press forward. And even if you're following along, I'm going to show you how to get every ending anyway. So when we approach and trigger all the conditions for that ending, I'll tell you exactly how to obtain them and what to do depending on whatever ending you're going for at this particular moment in time. We're going to speak with Magahayas and we get the last Arnica Ointment. And we can go ahead and activate the shrine safely. This is the Animal Shrine that's going to act as our hub for the remainder of the game, actually. That's going to be our final hub area. So if you just look, make sure there's nothing else you can speak to, just so that you know Warship's Rise is no longer accessible. We're going to have to activate it now from the Warship's Rise in Ruins. So now it's a completely different area. So we've triggered a world event. Congratulations, guys. We are ready to take on the final stretch of this area before the fifth and final chapter of the game. So We must say thank you all so much for being the best part of my channel, and until next time, it's the Inhuman one signing out.